Yo, what's going on? Right, so before I get into the video itself, I do want to mention this is the second time I'm recording the video. I finally got a PC, as you can see right here. And my PC is very noisy. The first video I did had a lot of echo and just like PC noise. You're going to hear in the background. I'm going to try to removing that post-editing. I hope I do. If I didn't, I'm sorry. I hope you still enjoy. But anyways, we're here for Yu-Gi-Oh! So, Yu-Gi-Oh! Why do I have, some Pokemon stuff here? Well, Pokemon Scarlet and Violet are actually about to come out. Most likely when I upload this video, I'm already going to be playing these, you know what I'm saying? And Pokemon has a very, very, very nice spot, in my gaming library. I am sorry for that. Right, anyways, basically, I was saying, what the Okay, right, so Pokemon. I haven't done a lot of Pokemon, main games in this channel just because, recording long videos previously with my old laptop was extremely hard. I think I did mention when I tried to go over 10 minutes of recording, it was just like, the video footage would just start glitching. I'm hoping this doesn't happen with the PC, and I do plan on doing more content as a Pokemon. I have a story about Pokemon that I want to talk about in a tournament that I went once. I'll probably go into detail when it's about Pokemon. This is about Yu-Gi-Oh! Right now. And where do I stand with Yu-Gi-Oh? I've been actually more into Duel Links recently, just because there have been more selection packs coming out for Master Duel. But, bro, where's Illusion of Chaos? Like, hello? And Tamias, but like the monster version. I was pretty sure it was going to come out in the next selection pack that was going to be released, but that was not the case. And I don't know, I'm not having a good time with a lot of penguins running around. I am currently running it with branded fusion. I'll probably give a little update. It's been a while since I've actually updated my deck in terms of Master Duel. But yeah, Duel Links actually is what we have for today. I'm going to be very concise and precise, or try to be as much as possible, with the 3 deck profiles that I actually have for you today. Mainly I've been having a lot of fun because Dark Magician really got buffed recently. When I say buffed, is because Eternal Souls finally came out, and they provided Illusion Magician in one of the normal packs, so you can just get it now instead of waiting for it to be in the selection pack. And it's been fun. Definitely decks that are King of Games worthy. I'm going to be showing 3 of them, going in order of what I think might be the most standard thing. Obviously, I think we already know which one is using Trick Up the Sleeve, right? So as you can see here, it's a pretty standard deck profile. I think the only thing that maybe pops out is the Lightning Vortex. Lightning Vortex I have more just because it's nice when you have it when you're going second. This deck really struggles a lot going second a lot of times just because Salamangreat has the trap card that's like an Omni Negate. Galaxy is actually something that I find really annoying to deal with recently just because they can continue stacking their new XYZ cards a lot, and it just continues to remove your back row. There's even one of them that completely negates everything that's face up on the field in terms of effects. It's pretty annoying. And obviously MST, so I just kind of destroy everything with this, and since you're always going to have a Dark Magician in the hand, activate this and the Dark Magician, you can always bring him back with Eternal Souls. It's pretty nice. Again, I want to re-emphasize, I'm going to be going over these pretty quick. I don't want to make it too long. If you do, want to have a more in-depth look onto some of these DM cards, I'll probably put something up here linking into my previous Master Duel deck, which, has most of these cards and more, and you can, learn a few, combos or whatever. I'm going to, again, try to be very precise. Anyways, I'm running Illusion as a quote-unquote 3rd copy of DM just because I want to be able to make Ebon. Ebon is just a nice, I guess, honestly, the most maybe aggressive play that we have right now. Just to finish duels, if your opponent didn't really pop off on their turn and you summon Ebon. Most of the times it's going to be game, depending on what you have. Obviously, I'm running 2 rods and a navigation. Navigation is really good because you can get out your illusion and your DM, and then just next turn Ebon from there, as well as this is a nice little negate for spells and traps, which obviously most of the times you're going to want to be negating a MST that might be targeting your Eternal Souls. Also, this is a really nice MST negate. Like if you have Dark Magic Circle, set these 2 in the back row. If they target your navigation first with the MST, you can just flip it, activate it, and they just wasted an MST there. Blue Boy, everybody pretty much is using this engine. It's a pretty good engine that helps you draw into a lot of cards as well as thin out your deck. And it pairs very well with Duality and Heatwave. Duality because, you know, it lets you do your normal summon, so you can normal summon Rod, get what you need, normal summon Blue Boy, go for the engine, and just be able to thin out your deck. Like even for like a really good one would be maybe, I don't know, you do your spellbook stuff, then you do your Duality, then you go circle, and circle after that is going to most likely hit into whatever it is that you're looking for DM related. Now this card has basically won me games by itself. This card is absolutely insane as long as you're not mirroring a Dark Magician opponent who's using Dark Magician as well. This card basically, you know, at the start of your main phase, neither player can normal, whisper, summon, affect monsters. Now the cool thing about this card, besides not letting your opponent play, is that if you have Blue Boy in your hand, he can activate his effect by flipping up. So you can just set him on your first turn, flip him up, and you know you'll still be able to search up, and then you still have your normal summon for like Rod or anything like that. Also, it says effect monsters, so if you have Eternal Souls or Navigation, your opponent won't really be able to set up absolutely anything monster related. So you can just like flip any of these 2, and then you already have a DM on the field. Hopefully you have Navigation, because then you can, you know, summon these 2, go for Ebon, and most of the times, if not always, that's pretty much going to be game. Or just like hit him with the 2 DMs and, you know, have this negate in the back just in case. Breaker is another really good card that I've been liking. This one is really good against both Galaxy and Salamangreat just because they do so many summons. Maybe more against Salamangreat. One, they will not be able to set up the board they want. 2, if they do have MST in the hand, it forces them to make a decision of whether to go for your field spell, circle, or risk hitting, you know, a good card that you set up on your back row. These 2 cards, I think, are pretty essential in pretty much any DM deck. Honestly, any of the versions I'm going to show you, I am playing both these cards. DD Crow, pretty standard as well. This card just helps a lot against Salamangreat, which is meta as hell right now. You can just wait for them to send the trap card to the graveyard, banish it, GG's from there. They lose their Omni Negate, and it actually is pretty decent against Galaxy, because Galaxy, they activate their effect, they send the Photon Dragon into the graveyard, and you can just, you know, banish it with DD Crow, and they'll have to find another way to get to their XCs and stuff. Warning point, this card is absolutely insane. This card can single-handedly stop Salamangreat on their turn. You know, obviously depending on what they have on their hand, they do have a lot of ways to maybe like playing through it, but it's just, you know, annoying for them. And this definitely also f***s up pretty badly Galaxy. If you don't know, when a monster is summoned this turn, you basically negate its effect, and your opponent can't do any play that is extra deck related with that monster. It's pretty nice, especially like, let's say they do like Imdok or something, and they don't have any other way of tributing him or anything like that. Since Imdok is pointing upwards, then they won't be able to do any more link climbs because of, you know, where Imdok is pointing to. And Karma Cut is just here just in case they would be able to like destroy my field or anything, because I flip Eternal Souls. I have Karma Cut so I can banish a monster, and you're always going to have DM at the beginning of your duel with you know, this ability. So, you know, you can just send DM to the graveyard, bring it back with Eternal Souls. This deck, of the 3 I'm going to show you, is probably the most consistent, but I feel like since people are so already like ready for it, you are going to lose a lot to like MST or stuff like that. So I still use it here and there, but I think I'm having a little bit more fun with the other decks I'm going to show afterwards. Extra deck. For this deck, I was actually using I have Timaeus because I think Cavalry is super good with DM right now, just because it is that protection against MST. And he can also protect himself from the newly added trap card. I forgot its name. Maybe I'll put it somewhere on the screen. That grabs your opponent monster and then you keep it, but you can't do anything with it. But obviously you're gonna use it to like link climb or something like that. But I think it was a little bit too bricky having this and I don't know, this. It was a little bit too many bricks for me, so I just took it out. And for now, I'm just playing with like XCs. Nobody really uses this card anymore, but I just kind of like it sometimes as a turn 1. It kind of does its thing sometimes. The good thing about it too is since we also have links now, you can link to him, activate his effect, pop 2 cards, and then since he's an effect monster, you can like maybe link into Enforcer or anything like that. Big Eye, super good. Grab a monster, take control of it. You can use it to attack as well. And this one actually doesn't negate their effect zone. You know what I'm saying? He can't attack, but same thing. If you really want to go for game or anything, you can just lick him away. Ebon, I already talked to you guys about it. And this guy is actually pretty good. I don't think I've heard a lot of people talk about him, but since you have the Blue Boy engine, this is essentially a back row wipeout sometimes, which is pretty good. Can bait a few negates if they have, and then you can just again link him off. Deco Talker, pretty good for like negating MSTs if you get to him. He's just another nice negate, and since you have Eternal Souls, you can just bring back DM, put him on one of the rows where Deco Talker points to, send him to the grave, negate, bring DM back. You get the idea. Blue Enforce is just a little nice, like to get rid of something that's annoying and maybe bait something. He's a little bit trickier to get to. You do have an option of maybe running either 2 Imducks or one of this guy. He comes in handy sometimes just to help with the link climbing if I don't have the 2 effect monsters. But I can see a world where maybe you run 2 Imducks, so that way you can just send this guy to the graveyard. Now you have an effect monster, quote unquote, and then if you have like Rod or anything like that, put him, again, nice little combo, send DM, you can bring it back with Eternal Souls. I like it. This deck is definitely, I think I already mentioned this, King of Games worthy. I was actually about to get to King of Games, but I had to go to sleep for work. I'll probably just post it on my YouTube when I get to it, just to show that it is possible with DM now, and it is viable as well with the decks that I'm going to show you. However, I think those do need a little bit of work, but I'm going to show them anyways to you. Dark Paladin, this is probably a deck that I most want to make work. Dark Paladin is just very nice to stop a lot of decks from playing because he can just like negate spell cards over and over and over. And again, you have Eternal Soul, so you can just send DM, bring him back, yada yada. One thing I will say about this deck is that I definitely would recommend, if you want to play this deck, please try to have at least 2 Dark Paladins. I'm not sure if maybe 3 for now. I think 2 is the best. Because since he can't protect himself from trap cards like Cavalry can, then he is very susceptible to like, does this target? No, this doesn't target, but the new trap card, again, that like sucks in monsters, yada yada, then he is very susceptible to that. I've lost a few games because of that. And just other trap cards that are able to like target and he can't do anything about it. And if they're still gonna waste a lot of resources in order to take him out. And after they do, then you just summon another Dark Paladin on them and like whatever. Illusion, Apprentice Magician, I am playing 2 just because I don't want to have too much of her, because with this ability you can not special summon. You can only special summon once on your turn. After that you have to wait till you go again, so you can't like special summon Paladin, have Eternal Souls, wait for them to end their turn, activate Souls, summon DM. So I just have her just in case I don't have anything. Then I would go into rank 6. I have this guy here now because he's the one that I was using. He's kind of like a Big Eye, but he also has the added effect that if there's a face-up trap on the field, Eternal Souls, you can tribute a monster and then just destroy a face-up card on the field, which is pretty cool. But I would definitely maybe go for the other XC rank 6. I'll show it to you guys when I'm on my other deck profile. But you know, he's a nice option. But the other guy, damn, I forgot his name. But he's basically a monster negate, which I think might be a better turn 1 than Jinzo. Jinzo here may be better for like later in the game. But since this deck focuses so much on Paladin, then you know it's hard to get a chance to summon him during the duel. Other than that, I'm running 3 rods. I'm not running navigation because I just feel it's a lot more valuable to get to illusion magic, just because let's say you have a hand where you have these two, which are not DM related, then you can just summon rod, activate magic. Now you search for 2 DMs, and now you have a way to get into Paladin, as well as having this to protect you just in case anything will go wrong. We're running the Blue Boy engine here, 3 DMs, because in this deck you can't really brick as if you have a lot of DMs in your hand because of the ability or the skill of the Paladin. Heat Wave, Summon Breaker as well, because this deck doesn't really do a lot of summoning or special summoning. Discard Strength and Unity, just because, you know, do the whole Paladin shenanigans. If you're going second, you can banish something, send it. Now you have a DM. You can send this, have a DM in your hand. It's just another nice spell negate. Bottomless Trap Hole is just in case everything goes wrong and he summons something huge, then I can just like banish it with this. And of course, Warning Point. Other than that, everything else is pretty standard. I don't really climb up to 3 here. I rather have the Exceeds, just because, again, since this skill stops you from special summoning so much, then you know Paladin is kind of like your main guy, and you're going to be special summoning like on the side later on if your Dark Paladin doesn't get destroyed or anything like that. I'm also running Inheritance. I think this card is really good with this deck specifically, just because let's say you don't have Blue Boy Engine, because Blue Boy Engine you already have your spell cards to banish here. This card, again, just in case you don't know, banish 2 spell cards from your graveyard, lets you search for another Dark Magician card. So let's say you don't have Blue Boy, but then when you do the Rod combo, go into Illusion, that's 1 spell card in the grave, activate your skill, you have Poly, activate Poly, now you have 2 spell cards and you can search for another card if you want. Now for this deck, I wouldn't mind running one of the Dark Magician spell cards. I'm talking, of course, about 1,000 Knives and Dark Magic Attack, because a nice little thing you can do is if they end your turn and you're in a pretty good position, you can flip Eternal Souls. It's not going to let you special summon Dark Magician, but it will let you search for Dark Magic Attack. You're +1, you're thinning your deck, and then on the next turn you can summon DM and you already have your Dark Magic Attack or 1,000 Knives in the hand. A lot of people tend to go more for Dark Magic Attack. I would agree as well with that. But yeah, this deck, pretty good. I recommend it. I'm not 100% sure still if it can fully get into King of Games, but I really do feel it can. But you really need the 2 Paladins, and the issue with Paladin right now is that the only ways to get him is with either Dream Ticket or buying the starter deck for Paladin, and I'm kind of free to play. Am I recording? Okay, my bad. I just needed to make sure, because I already recorded once. You know what I'm saying? I don't want any bloopers here. Right, third and final deck. This is the deck I'm mostly using right now, just because, as I mentioned, Trick Up the Sleeve is pretty good, but the whole going second thing always and waiting for that third turn essentially for you to really pop off. I don't know, it just gets a little bit tiring, at least in my opinion, and as well your opponent really doesn't expect any surprises unless you're like running any crazy back row or something like that, or some crazy normal summon. I was actually running Chocolate Magician at one point, just because since you're always going to have the DM card in your hand, you can summon Chocolate. If you don't have anything, send the DM, bring it back with Eternal, or Chocolate herself if she gets attacked. Let me look her up just in case you don't know. If she gets attacked, then she can just bring DM back. See, there she is. Just bring DM back, and you also reduce the monster who attacked her by half, and then they target DM as their attack target, and most of the times they'll have less attack points than him and get destroyed. But yeah, this is just a little cheesy thing or whatever you could do. But right, other than that, this is what I'm using right now. I'm using Born from the Earth. Maybe using normal Yami Yugi with whatchamacallit, Destiny Draw is better, but I just like the option of not depending on like the whole losing 2,000 life points, yada yada. And I also like the aggro option you have with this deck, because when you set the trap card, you can actually activate it same turn that you set. So let's say your opponent, you activate a Heat Wave, your opponent can really do anything on their turn, activate Eternal Soul, summon Dark Magician, you attack with Dark Magician on your turn, activate this guy, swap this guy, the trap card to the monster zone, DM on your spell and trap, attack again, it's lethal. And I also recently found out, which I think is pretty crazy, you can actually use the graveyard effect of navigation if your Dark Magician is the equip monster of the trap card monster. I forgot the name, but you get the point. That is absolutely insane. If you have DM on your field, but he's the equip card for the monster, you actually don't use, if that was your own DM, the navigation effect, which is absolutely insane. But anyways, 3 illusion, just to like thin out the deck or whatever. I don't have anything. Also, if you summon DM, or sometimes even with Rod, you can just like send this from your hand, the hand effect, and possibly lethal them if they like don't expect it, or just have a monster with really low points. Illusion, pretty nice. If you don't have DM but you have him, you can flip souls. You're not going to be able to summon him by the effect of souls, but since you activate a trap, you can summon him, set him. If you have a spell, trigger, circle, he can resurrect the DM from the graveyard. Pretty nice. Rod, pretty standard. We're running the Blue Boy engine as well, the spellbook engine. 2 circle. Here I am running Tamisis because, again, I really like Cavalry. Cavalry, I think, is super important. If there was an easier way to summon him in like because there's a lot easier ways to get to him, but most of the things that I've seen or thought about are not really like DM decks, and I kind of want it to be in the DM deck, so I am running the Eye of Tamias here just for him. If you get to him and you have really good protection, then it's pretty much GG. Heat Wave, insane card, same thing. Activate Heat Wave, set these. You have this in your hand, you can summon him and go from there. I'm running Breaker, Waypoint. And for the extra deck, this is the guy, the rank 6 that I was talking about. He's a monster negate, and you also inflict 500 life points damage to your opponent. Pretty nice turn 1 monster. It might be able to stop Galaxy pretty well, as well as Salamangreat pretty decently. And here you can get into your Deco Talker. But yeah, that's pretty much it for this video. Wanted to keep it as short as possible. Again, please keep in mind, of these 3 decks, Trick Up the Sleeve is definitely probably the most consistent one of them. It's just, a little bit bored of it, but the drawing potential of this deck is pretty crazy. Like, if you get this, have this in your hand, and this hits, it's absolutely insane how much like card advantage you get. But yeah, that's pretty much it. Again, I'll probably be uploading this after Scarlet and Violet come out. I'm gonna be hitting those for a while, and I'll play Yu-Gi-Oh here and there. But in terms of Master Duel, I gotta wait for your boy to come out. But yeah, have a good one, and thank you for watching. See you next time.